Hello YouTube, back again with another video. Today's video's title is going to be Stop Mixing Spirits. Okay, a lot of people may be wondering, why do I say that and what does that mean? Well, let me explain something. I've met a lot of people that have been mixing oils, mixing mixing gemstones, mixing altars. Let me explain something. If you have not been initiated, when I say initiation, I don't mean your arm and chair, here's your statue, and here's, and here you go, and here's a couple of rituals. No, I mean education. If you have not received education about the compatibility and the arrangement of altars, oils, you know what I'm saying, then I recommend that you stay away from that. Let me go into more depth what I mean. Okay, every oil, every herb, when you're dealing with it on a magical level, has a, how can I say this? Has a spirit. But the spirit can be compatible or not compatible. Rather say, incompatible. The thing is, certain herbs, you can mix them together harmoniously, spiritually. You can put the herbs together and they work great together. Then there's certain herbs or oils, you put together and they don't work harmoniously. And one thing I realized, even with that disharmony, when you try to apply that into your life, what does it do? It creates disharmony. So, when we're talking about the law, I've been to numerous family members' homes, friends' homes, clients' homes, where I walk in their house and I see they got all these statues clustered together. You have Ezeli Dontor mixed with Ezeli Freda. You have Shango standing next to Ogun. You know what I'm saying? These are all basic principles and tenets of different systems, whether it's Santeria, Ifa, Voodoo, that we have to understand. These are basic tenets of of all these traditions, which I just mentioned, that a person has to adhere to. You can't mix spirits up just together like that. Listen, let me put it like this. There's people that may say, "Oh, this is not true. I got my Ezeli Dontor with my Ezeli Freda." Let me explain something to you. There's one thing I say is when you have something activated and inactivated. That's inactive. When you have a statue that's inactive or gemstones that's inactive, you can put them wherever you want with whatever you want. It is nothing. But when these forces are active, you can't do that because their energies are alive and they're not compatible. And this would cause a lot of friction in your life, unnecessary friction. I'm saying it over again. I'm beating people over the head with it because there's many people, again, I've entered into many homes and I've seen shit just out of place. And these people are wondering, why is nothing happening in their life? I met this person that told me, they basically have been dealing with the spirits for God knows how long, and their life is in shambles, and it's like everything has been messed up. Why? How the hell? If you're serving spirits, your life should be heaven on earth, unless you're doing otherwise, unless you're just messed up, Listen, this type of stuff requires a lot of spiritual senses to be applicable, within these mixing components. The thing is, you have to have clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, because the spirits are going to commune with you to let you know whether what's right or what's wrong with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But if you're blind, you don't have no spiritual senses, leave this stuff alone. If you don't have a good teacher, leave this stuff alone. Because I'm just saying, you're just creating nothing but problems in your life. It's better that you don't even serve spirits, then do it improperly with the wrong guidance, because you're basically calling unnecessarily drama into your life. Again, there's some people that are just caught up into, I know what I'm doing. They haven't had any education. They're not spiritual whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? They're just putting stuff together. They reading books and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. I've been to a lot of spiritual stores where they didn't know that what I was into. I asked questions. And the answers I got we're just, you can clearly know, you can clearly say to yourself, this person does not know what they're doing. You know? So my whole thing is, you can't even rely on spiritual shops that you go to, because you got to remember, these people are just trying to sell a product. They don't care about if you got, if the situation works or not. They're just trying to sell a product. So they'll tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? So I say this, you know, if you don't have the proper guidance, or you're not a spiritual person to the point where you are not psychic. Let me say something. Let me say something about the psychic thing. If you got a bunch of customers paying you for your readings and they're satisfied, they're coming back to you back and forth, then I would say you're qualified to be, you know, as a good reader or a good psychic. You know, psychic is a gift, whatsoever, of being able to perceive things, you know, from paranormal senses or higher senses or so, you know. Then I would say that you're good for you're a good person or a good candidate for working magic, because you can sense when things are wrong or right. And this is a thing that people who do not have psychic abilities fall victim to, because they're mixing stuff and they don't even know when things are right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? They know when things are wrong when shit backfires on them, when it's too late. But anyhow, I say this, man, as far as, you know, this whole mixing thing goes, listen, man, if you know what you're doing, fine. But if you don't step into this. Also, if you have altars, separate your altars, especially if you're doing it independently and you do not have psychic senses, as I mentioned. Separate your altars. Yes, you know, they say in voodoo, Ezeli Dontor marche avec Ogu, which means Ezeli Dontor walks with Ogu. Ferai. That is true. I mean, I've used it for myself. But then again, there's other things you'll hear in voodoo that may not even that may not even be true. Because remember, I say the best thing you can do is basically go into yourself and get the answers from yourself. Intuit it from the spirit. Let the spirit commune with you. Because listen to human beings about all this shit that they're talking about. Because listen, as much mombos and woogans out here, I'd say majority of them don't know what they're doing. You know, majority of them are just practicing religion. They have lost their connection to God. They have lost their connection to spirits. And they're just trying to, you know what I'm saying? They're just going off of information they heard from their friends. You know? So I say, yeah, man. Know what you're doing. Definitely invest time into developing yourself spiritually, you know, because this is the prerequisite for basically any type of magical work, you know what I'm saying, or basically summoning work, evocation work, whatsoever with the spirits. So with that, I conclude this video, and I hope that is very informative. I am out. Stay tuned for stay tuned, because I'm definitely going to upload another video pretty soon. Thank you for watching.